She-Hulk, Attorney at Law's Episode 5 left us with a lot to think about as the post-credit scene included major Easter eggs that could potentially set up the MCU for the next decade. Recently, the show's director sat down in an interview and addressed these Easter eggs, revealing more information for fans. So sit back and relax as we talk about what the director had to say and the cameos we're going to see in the show. Starting off with the Easter eggs in Episode 5. During the episode, Nikki and Pug are trying to find a superhero outfit for Tatiana Maslany's Jennifer Walters at a very exclusive store owned by Luke Jacobson, a designer who makes superhero outfits and superhero-inspired clothing. Throughout the episode, Pug is desperate to find a new pair of shoes called Iron Man 3s. Well, in the scene after the credits, there's a handmade illustration of Pug in Jacobson's shop. In the drawing, he's surrounded by different superhero sneakers in the colors and styles of different Marvel Comics characters, and some of the designs were for characters like Cyclops, Wolverine, The Thing, Deadpool, and Doctor Strange. So it was just about sneakers this whole time? Followed by, what did the director have to say about these Easter eggs? Some fans were confused though, because the shoes had designs based on MCU characters we haven't even seen yet. These characters include Wolverine, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four. So Anu Valia, the person in charge of episodes 5, 6, and 7, talked about this in a recent interview and addressed the situation for the fans. But like most Marvel employees, she couldn't say much. For starters, Valia stated that she doesn't know anything about it, as she didn't put any of those Easter eggs in that drawing, but a lot of other people did. She added that no mid-credit scene had been shot for that time, but that an illustration of Pug surrounded by sneakers was always planned as a fun callback to Pug's love of sneakers. As of now, Valia and Kat Coiro both direct episodes of She-Hulk, and Valia hinted that her next 2 episodes might have a little more action than her first episode, which was more like a sitcom. Well, that was a bit disappointing. Moving on, She-Hulk still has more cameos to offer. Some people have said that She-Hulk, Attorney at Law's marketing is bad because it gives away the biggest cameo on the show, which is none other than Daredevil's. This argument got a lot of support after the big reveal at the end of episode 5 that Daredevil's new yellow mask was boxed up and ready to be sent to its owner, Matt Murdock. But this moment wasn't as big as it could have been because Daredevil had already been seen in the original She-Hulk trailers. But according to Ginger Gonzaga, who plays She-Hulk's best friend in the show, there are still plenty of other surprising cameos to come. She said that the series now shows what it's like to have petty, stupid supervillains and superheroes who either want to fight you or need you to represent them. While talking about Walter's job, she said that working in a superhuman law division means that they can represent anyone. This also means that they get to represent comic book characters that haven't yet made it into the MCU yet and that we haven't seen in any of the trailers. Gonzaga also added that we'd get to see how stupid the ridiculously fun superheroes are when they get in legal trouble and may or may not listen to their lawyers. Seems like she's really excited for people to see the upcoming cameos in the show. Coming up next, what's the deal with the Fantastic Four and X-Men? Well, in the 1980s, Marvel was short on cash, so they sold the rights to some of its most popular characters to other studios. This meant that Fox had the rights to the Fantastic Four and the X-Men for many years, and this allowed Fox to make movies based on these characters, which had varying degrees of critical and financial success. But in 2019, Disney acquired 21st Century Fox, which gave back the rights to these characters to Marvel. At the moment, there are plans for a Fantastic Four movie, which Matt Jackman will direct, but no actors have been named for the project. We did see John Krasinski's playing Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but there's no clear sign that he'll be back in that role. Last but not least, are we gonna meet these characters in She-Hulk? As for the X-Men, Ms. Marvel, the Disney Plus show that came out before She-Hulk, confirmed in its final moments that Kamala Khan, the main character, was a mutant, not an Inhuman like in the comics. As for the F4, the Fantastic Four have been called Marvel's first family, but the cast members are nowhere to be seen right now. And this leaves us with the question of how to introduce the X-Men and the Fantastic Four in the MCU. A hot debate, we must add. Bringing mutants into the MCU is even harder because all of these characters would have had powers when they were teenagers, but they've never been mentioned in the MCU. But She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, seems to be hinting that these characters already exist in the MCU and are also marketable. It's safe to say that almost every Easter egg Marvel has ever hidden has been part of MCU's continuity. Considering this, we think that She-Hulk may have revealed that the Fantastic Fantastic Four and X-Men already exist in the MCU? We really hope so. In other related news, first up, She-Hulk introduces another mutant to the MCU. With El Águila, aka Alejandro Montoya, Episode 7 of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, seems to continue to explore the mutant side of the Marvel Universe. In the comic books, El Águila is a swashbuckling superhero who modeled himself after Zorro, and part of what makes him different from Zorro is that he has a mutant ability that lets him channel energy into his sword and fire it as a projectile. But in the MCU's version, Joseph Castillo El Midyet Aguila used his bioelectricity power in front of She-Hulk and his friends at Abomination's ranch. His bioelectric powers in the episode are a good sign that he comes from the same mutant origin as his comic book counterpart. El Águila might be the second mutant to appear in the MCU, but chances are that more characters might have come before him. And unless Marvel introduces more mutants in She-Hulk's last 2 episodes, El Águila, Ms. Marvel, and possibly Mr. Immortal may be the only mutants in the MCU. That is until Namor officially joins the group in Black Panther 2. Next up, Tim Roth reflects on filming Emil Blonsky's wellness retreat. We all remember Tim Roth's Abomination, who first appeared in 2008's The Incredible Hulk. In She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, he comes back as a man who seems to have changed. In earlier episodes of the show, Walters gets Blonsky out of jail on parole. But episode 7 is the first time that we learn more about Blonsky's life as a spiritual guru. In the episode, Walters meets a lot of new Marvel characters when she gets stuck at Blonsky's wellness retreat. These include Man-Bull, El Águila, Saracen, Porcupine, and Wrecker. Walters' She-Hulk is at first skeptical of Blonsky's methods and his followers, but after taking part in a therapy circle, she's able to find some peace within herself. In a recent interview with Marvel.com, Roth talked about filming the scenes in She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Episode 7 that took place at Blonsky's wellness retreat. He said nice things about all of his therapy circle co-stars, but Saracen, played by Clow, is his favorite new character because he can't be predicted. The actor also added that his co-stars' constant jokes made it hard for him to keep a straight face on set, even though they didn't make it into the episode. What a redemption arc Abomination has gotten in the MCU. Finally, Marvel reportedly turning Armor Wars into a movie. Iron Man fans, rejoice! As Marvel Studios has made some changes to its Armor Wars project, what was going to be a series for Disney Plus will now be turned into a full-length movie, but the decision basically moves the title further down the list of projects being made. According to sources, the studio wanted to tell the story the right way, and in doing so, realized the project would work better as a feature. And like all Marvel movies, it's meant to be shown in theaters. With Colonel James Rhodey Rhodes, also known as War Machine, set to return, Yasir Lester, who was the show's head writer, will stay on as the show's feature writer. Damn, we about to eat! As for Armor Wars, the name comes from a famous storyline from the Iron Man comics from 1987 and 1988. Written by David McKelney and Bob Layton, and Mark Bryant was the artist behind the comic book issues. The story revolves around how Iron Man's advanced technology could get into the wrong hands, and for us fans, we saw the live-action series as a way to show off different kinds of armor. Cheadle's next Marvel role will still be in the MCU series Secret Invasion, which also stars Samuel L. Jackson with Ben Mendelsohn and is set to release in 2023. That's all for this video. What are your thoughts on She-Hulk so far? Do you think the show is going to introduce more major characters in the MCU? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.